So good evening. We're here tonight to talk about specialized curricular programs here at Hunterdon Central. And thank you again for having us. I want to talk about, first of all, specialized curricular programs, what that means, how we got here. So I hope you're all familiar with our mission statement. We do read it at our board meetings every month. This is a special mission statement because this was developed by parents, students, community members, staff members. So we really see this as the heart of Hunterdon Central. What is it that we're doing and why? And so I did put something in bold because this is what's driving this growth in our specialized programs for Hunterdon Central. So while fostering curiosity and promoting wellness, we aspire to create powerful learning experiences, establish strong partnerships, and serve as contributing members of society. So that was developed close to 5 years ago. And so we've seen a lot of growth over these past 5 years. This mission statement not only drives the specialized programs that I'll talk about tonight, but it really drives all of curriculum and instruction. So it drives our regular program of studies, which you're probably familiar with already, and it also drives our instruction in class. This is the way that we're making sure, because we have a diverse student body, we have a lot of students here, we want to make sure there's a variety of opportunities for students so that they can curate their own path. College and career, whatever that may be, we want to make sure everybody finds their place here and has a good path to set them up for success after high school. So one of the things I want to talk about, I think a lot of times when we talk about specialized opportunities, we automatically think honors and AP courses. And for sure, that's specialized and that is a great opportunity for students in high school. But I also want to make sure everyone is aware we have more options beyond that. And so that's what we'll talk about tonight. There are 3 growing areas of interest. And so this is designed really as an overview of each of those 3. And I won't get too into the details tonight, but I'm more than happy to discuss them, through the Q&A. And I encourage you all to explore them further as well for whatever you think may apply to your child. So we're going to talk about dual enrollment. Dual enrollment's a program where students who are in high school can earn college credit. We'll talk about our magnet programs. Our magnet programs are specialized programs here that focus around a particular area of interest or a particular career. And lastly, we'll talk about something called Option 2. This is actually a statewide program through the New Jersey Department of Education that each school has to offer. But this is a very individualized and usually independent opportunity or opportunities that students pursue if they're looking for something a little bit different. So first, I'd like to talk to you about dual enrollment. Dual enrollment, as I said before, is a program that we have here that we've really been growing. It allows students who are in high school to earn college credit. And a lot of times I hear people conflating this with our AP program. Both are strong programs, but they're different. And so this is not based on a single test like AP is at the end. This is the actual college course aligned with our high school course, and students are earning credit in the course just as they would if they took the course in college. We have close to 50 dual enrollment courses here at Hunterdon Central, and I think that's a surprising fact for many people to learn about. So I will encourage you, I'm not going to go over all of them tonight, but I will encourage you to look at the website, and you'll see at the end, I'm directing everyone to go to the website because we have a wealth of information on there. So as I said, the college curriculum has been infused into the course. And on top of that, our Hunterdon Central teachers have met the college's requirements to be adjunct professors. Many times that's something like an advanced degree, experience within the field, a certain amount of time teaching. And each college does it in a different way. We have alignment meetings. Sometimes they're assigned a faculty mentor from the college. Many times we're looking at aligning our assessments together. So there really is a lot of fidelity within dual enrollment to make sure this is a college course. And students, as I said, get the credit on a transcript. So this is something that even if they don't go to the college, after they complete the course and they graduate high school, they do a transcript request just as you would do if you were a college student, and they get the transcript and they can bring it with them to wherever they may go if they want to transfer those credits to a different college that they're attending. One thing that we're often asked is the college credit guaranteed? And I do like to give this disclaimer that we cannot guarantee that the college credit transfers to other post-secondary institutions, similar to how we can't guarantee that a certain score on a certain AP test will give them credit at a college either. So I always recommend, and I have recommended for many years, that if you are interested in dual enrollment and you're interested particularly in the savings aspects or the acceleration aspect for your student when they go to college, please reach out to the colleges and work with the admissions offices to see what do you take, what do you recommend. I've seen it done in, I can't even tell you the best process because I've seen it done in so many different ways with different colleges. So I highly recommend you investigate that and you start early. Don't wait until junior or senior year. We have many post-secondary partners. We have Fairleigh Dickinson. We just added NJIT. We worked for a long time with RVCC. Rider University, Seton Hall is another big one for us. We just added Stockton University, and a few years ago we added the University of Iowa. So we're always building these programs and these relationships. Each program works a little bit differently. So I wanted to give you an overview here, although this is not a complete overview. This is probably the most critical information to know about some of the schools. And one of the things you'll see instantly is there's differences with each college. So beyond these differences that you see in grade levels, in the tuition cost, in the sort of GPA or the eligibility requirements for students, you're also going to see differences in timelines. So for example, RVCC, if your student's in a dual enrollment class, they start their registration very early. They start it typically in the summer before the students get here, whereas many of the other institutions wait until the students are in school and begin the registration process. So we do say if your child is in a dual enrollment class, please check your email because that's how we're sending all the communication. So I just want to give that little tip to our families here. But you'll see that RVCC is mainly for students in 11th and 12th grade. We do have really two courses, our pre-calculus dual enrollment. We have dual enrollment with pre-calculus 1 and 2 with RVCC. That's where they do allow 10th graders. Whereas a college like Fairleigh Dickinson allows 9th through 12th graders. So we are mindful of that when we're setting up dual enrollment agreements, looking to see where do the majority of the students who are in the course reside, what grade level, to try and make sure we're maximizing the reach that we get to our students. One thing I do want to note, when you go on our website and you see all the dual enrollment courses, that doesn't mean your student has to do the dual enrollment. And that's a question we sometimes get too. Can my students stay in the class even if they don't want to register at the college? And they can. That's okay. That's acceptable. I think this is a fantastic and underutilized opportunity we offer here at Hunterdon Central. I've been working with dual enrollment for over 10 years. And I've seen fantastic things from students getting a semester's worth of credits before they even start at college, being recognized for a scholarship. There's a lot of benefits to dual enrollment beyond the benefit of just experiencing kind of what a college course looks like. And many times it can be a confidence builder for students as well, because maybe they have some fears about college coursework, maybe they're not sure. What will it be like? This is a great way to experience that and get a little sneak peek as to what it would be like. So we're going to shift now to magnet programs. And as I talk about magnet programs, you'll see that dual enrollment is actually a part of magnet programs. So that's why I chose to do magnet programs after dual enrollment. So magnet programs, that's a term and that's a sort of program that's been around for some time, although it is newer in our county. I think we might be one of the last counties to offer specialized magnet programs. Magnet programs are curricular programs that allow a student to focus around a particular area of interest, a passion, or a career field, or all of the above, of course. In our case, magnet programs means that there are 3 or more courses that the student will take around that particular area. And so this is different than a student who comes to Hunterdon Central and says, I'm not sure yet, and I want to try a bunch of different things. That's perfectly wonderful and acceptable as well. But here we're looking more at someone who has an inkling they might be interested in something, someone who knows they want to be interested in something, or even a student who says, I really want to just give this sort of program a try because I want to see what it's like to kind of build a pathway through a particular area. So here, our courses are cohesive and sequential, meaning that it is important the order in which you take them. So every one of our magnet programs has a sort of introductory or starter level course. Each one of our magnet programs offers students dual enrollment and/or an industry valued credential. And if you're not familiar with an industry valued credential, this is something that is highly valued by employers and highly valued by the state of New Jersey and the Department of Labor and Workforce Development. So in architecture, we offer something called Revit. That's an industry standard certification. And in robotics, it's called Fusion 360. So those are examples of certifications that we bring into the programs as well. What I really see as the huge benefits of our magnet programs is the smaller learning community. What I found is wonderful is that our students come together. Sometimes central, you can go, wow, how is my student going to come here? It seems so big. Will my student get lost? Will they find their way? Will they find their niche? Yes, they will. They definitely will. We work to do that. We design our programs to make sure they do that. But this is one great way that students can do that because now they've entered a magnet program and they're with that group of students through high school, presumably. And that's a great little community, not just to share an interest with, but also to be able to support one another in a sort of network throughout high school. We also have a lot of connections in our magnet programs with external partners, so community partners through business and industry, through our post-secondary partners. We've been working hard to set up mentorships, internships. These things are called work-based learning, so that our students really get what's a minds-on experience. So not just hands-on, but minds-on experience. What is it like if I'm interested in cybersecurity? What's it really like when I go into cybersecurity? What does that mean? What does that look like? Who am I interacting with? What are the communication skills I need in order to be successful in cybersecurity? So we're looking at the whole package for the student as well. And that kind of leads into, I think, one of the other big benefits is a capstone experience. So capstone is sort of like a culminating experience for the student. They've been through this program, they've learned so much. Now what are they going to do with it? What do they want to do with it? What can they show to us that they've learned? So this is done in a wide variety of ways. It may be an independent research project. It may be sort of a report and presentation on a mentorship or internship experience they have. It could be an inquiry-based project that they're doing throughout the school year. But this is one of the huge benefits to capstone experiences. And experiences like this and opportunities like capstone experiences really set students up for success in college and career. It gives them a large project, learning how to manage a large project, how to divide up their time properly, how to work with partners and advisors. So this is a tremendous experience for students to have when they're in high school. Our current magnet programs, as you may already know, are architectural design, biomedical sciences, computer science, and robotics. And I did not say them in a particular order. I alphabetized them because I don't want to prioritize one over the other. Many, if not all of our staff in these programs have professional experience in the industry. That brings so much value to the table because they can say they have the content skills, but they also can say, you know, when I worked in a lab, here's what we actually did to investigate a particular pharmaceutical drug. And I also want to highly recommend, if students are in magnet programs or interested in this path, that they consider some complementary courses that are not necessarily in the magnet program, but will help them build their repertoire, especially as it pertains to capstone experience. So we do have some great English courses. We have a more recent a senior English inquiry project. That's a year-long kind of inquiry project that students set themselves on an individualized path. What are they interested in looking and studying? And that would lead perfectly into their capstone experience within their magnet program. We also have AP Research and AP Seminar. If you tuned into last month's board meeting, you'll hear more about some of the amazing work the students do in that class. That's highly individualized and independent work that students learn as well. I do want to just say, beyond magnet programs, if you're saying that's a lot for my child, that means they're fitting in an extra course each year, it does mean that. And if that's maybe not for them to consider, maybe there are other areas that we offer through our program of studies that they'd like to pursue a couple courses. And so I do want to caution that this is a wonderful opportunity. We know it's not for everybody, but these aren't the only sort of specialized opportunities that we offer. And so I encourage you to really look at our program of studies on our website if this isn't of a particular area of interest to your child, or if you think maybe it's not the right fit for them. And last but not least, this is this pulls everything together, option 2. So option 2 is an alternative to a traditional seat time requirement that the New Jersey Department of Education has. If you're not familiar, the state has a requirement for a certain number of credits. So for example, a 5-credit course, students are supposed to have 120 hours of seat time. A 2.5 credit, which here is traditionally a half-year course, students need 60 hours of seat time. And that can often be difficult, especially if people are pursuing really specialized opportunities. So the state has said, well, there is an opportunity called option 2 that will ensure that students still meet the New Jersey Student Learning Standards or exceed the New Jersey Student Learning Standards in some time, but will offer them more flexibility and more independence in doing that. And so we have a variety of option 2 opportunities, and I'll talk about some of them. This can mean something like online coursework. It can also mean something like independent study. It really depends on what your child wants to do, what their level of comfort is working asynchronously and working independently, and also if they're able to find someone, in the case of an independent study, to work with them as an advisor. So we do offer on our website, this is something that I actually don't see a lot of schools doing, but something we do, is we do have pre-approved courses. So if your child wants to fit in, let's say, Biomedical Sciences Academy, and now they're struggling to meet a different graduation requirement. They need to take, let's say, for example, a fine arts course. We do have on our website a pre-approved list of courses that students could take. These are virtual courses that they take, and it's through external providers that they would take them. But this is one way that they can continue to meet graduation requirements and still be on their individualized pathway to satisfy graduation requirements. On the flip side, we've seen students who want to accelerate in a particular area, perhaps math. I'll use that as an example. And so students say, you know what, over the summer, I'm going to take geometry because, you know, I came in at Algebra 1, but I want to end up at statistics, or I want to end up at calculus by the time I'm a senior. And so then they'll take that course over the summer, and we have a pre-approved course for that. We also have specialized opportunities that we offer through the district. And we call it our student assistant program, but we have interns, essentially. So we have, one of our most successful programs is our tech program, believe it or not. So we have students who work with our technology department, and it runs the gamut of help desk. They can learn about networking. They might want to learn more about programming. So we try to specialize for each student's experience. And again, that becomes part of their schedule. And then last but not least is independent study. So independent study is something that your student would say, I am really interested in, what's one I did? Entrepreneurship for nonprofits, for example. That's not a class we offer, although we do offer 2 entrepreneurship classes. I do want to give that plug. But if they're interested in a particular area, and perhaps they can't fit it in their schedule as well, they would talk to a staff member and say, it would have to be an entrepreneurship, in this case, is a business class. So they would need a business teacher as an advisor, and they would design their pathway. what are you going to do to show us that you're meeting the standards or exceeding the standards to show that you've really mastered entrepreneurship in nonprofit businesses? This is a really highly individualized pathway for students. It is highly independent as well. You can see that as I'm talking about it. Wow, my child has to understand how to fit in these learning experiences to ensure they meet the standards. And so that's not necessarily an opportunity that everyone wants, but we do have a lot of successful independent studies. An example, recently we had a student who completed a government internship in the summer. And so that was her independent study, was in government, and she worked through an agency, a state agency, to complete an independent project. And the culminating kind of piece of her learning was a presentation that she did not only for us, but she did for the agency as well. And so I put a note on here, and it was more a reminder for myself to make sure I say, students who are interested in these, there is an approval process. And that's not to put up any blocks, that's really to make sure that the student is ready to do it, because these are so highly independent and individualized. So we have a process, and it always starts out of the counseling office, to work with the counselor and say, is this something that will work in my schedule? Is this something that you think I'm capable of doing? What would you recommend? And our counselors are well-versed and ready to go and to talk with your children about that. And then from there, it goes into our departments to say, okay, I found this course is not on your pre-approved list, but what do you think of it? And so it moves to the curriculum office. And then last, it moves through Mr. Brandt and I, through the principal's office and I, for a final approval. There are deadlines as well. And again, that's to set up a process so that if the opportunity doesn't work out, the student still has a different opportunity to put a more traditional course in their schedule. So the deadlines are 3 times a year, and that aligns with our semester. So either they might do a semester 1 independent study or option 2 course, they might do a semester 2. Some students do a full year, or they even may do a summer. So those deadlines align with that program. And last, I just wanted to be able to provide you with, I've given you an overview. It is a lot of information if this is the first time you're learning about these awesome opportunities. So I would first direct you to our website. Much of the information that I actually shared tonight is available on our website, although I understand hearing it is a little bit different than reading it. But hopefully when you visit the website, you'll see, it will refresh your memory about what I said. And this is the way you get there. And I can actually show you in a minute. I did bring it up so that you could see that it's there. Second, I really encourage your children to reach out to the counselors. Of course, you're welcome to too, but because we're in high school, we do encourage our children to be independent, to learn that self-advocacy skill. So our counseling team is ready to go. They've supported many students through these processes, and we'd love to have your children reach out to the counselors as well to see how can we specialize their learning path through Hunterdon Central. And last but not least, if you have really specific department questions or curricular questions, I work with a wonderful team of supervisors, academic supervisors, and we're ready to help you and answer your questions. So those would be I think your 3 best resources for immediate questions. So that's the end of my formal presentation, and I can take questions now if that works for you all. So the question was, for dual enrollment, do students need to go to the college or university, or is it all offered on site? And the answer is, it is all offered on site. To the student and to the parent, it actually just seems like they're in the regular high school course, because our course has been directly aligned with the college course. So they do not need to go to the college or university. So the question was, how do the magnet programs relate to these options? So I think I have a 2-part answer for that. The first part is our magnet programs, some of them I'll say, offer dual enrollment opportunities. So there are 3 or 4 courses through the magnet program, and some of them have dual enrollment built in. A good example with that would be our Biomedical Sciences Academy, In the third year of the academy, there are 2 dual enrollment courses. There's anatomy and physiology, and there's also medical terminology. In the 4th year, we just added a new Introduction to Health Science course with Stockton University. So that's the dual enrollment built into the Biomedical Sciences Academy. But another way in which they may relate and kind of play together or intermingle is through option 2. So as you recall, when I was talking about the magnet program, sometimes that can be overwhelming to fit in a schedule. So students may say, you know what, I really want to do the Computer Science Academy, but that means I can't fit in my fine arts. How will I do that? And they work with the counselor to find an option 2 course that they can do to satisfy that fine arts requirement. So the question was, are the dual enrollment courses during the regular school hours? And they are. So so I just talked about, for example, Biomedical Science 3 has 2 dual enrollment courses. In my schedule, it says Biomedical Sciences 3, and I'm reporting there just as I would any other course at Hunterdon Central, and that's when the dual enrollment content is being taught to the students. So no additional, really, hours outside. So the question was about credits and how that works in terms of earning the high school credits. So the credits that they earn through dual enrollment, that's why it's called dual enrollment, because they're earning the high school credit and the college credit at the same time. So if I'm in AP Computer Science A, for example, that's a dual enrollment course that we have. I'm getting 5 credits here at Hunterdon Central, but then I'm also getting credits, I believe it's 4 credits from RVCC if I choose to enroll. Similarly, I'll throw a wrench into this, I may also choose to register to take the AP exam and see if I can show my proficiency in May during the AP testing period. But they get both credits at the same time. The same would be true for like an option 2. The students are taking that to satisfy their credits here at Hunterdon Central toward graduation. Just to repeat the tip, because this was a great tip for families, that when the child graduates, they need to have that ID number from the college. So in tracking the courses that they're taking, making sure you're keeping the paperwork or the emails, whatever it has, each college gives the student an ID number, because they'll need that in order to request the transcript to be directly sent from the dual enrollment college to wherever it is they're attending. That's a good tip. Thank you.